KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Head of the Crypto Curve with Naja Janine Roberts. Every day you'll get a dose of financial, technological, and personal inspiration from the world's top business minds, movers and shakers, and last but not least, Naja herself. Trying to get information from Silicon Valley, Silicon Beach? Nah, you're in the wrong place. She's building Silicon Hoods. Want to live a healthy, wealthy, and relevant life? Welcome to Ahead of the Crypto Curve with Naja Janine Roberts.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where we are creating Satoshi millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time. And ladies and gentlemen, that means you. I am your host, Naja Roberts, and it is my mission in life to lead my people out of financial slavery. Today is January 5th, 2023, and what a great day it is. I don't know where you are in the country, but we have had rain off and on. I heard, in other parts of Los Angeles, the sun is coming out, and this is supposed to be one of the biggest storms in history for our city, our town, our region, actually. I said in history, in the last 5 years. So I guess I won't go that far and say in history, but in the last 5 years. And so we are reined in and we are snug, and hopefully everyone has done all of their things that they needed to do to prepare for the rain today, just like we are preparing for some of the rain that is to come in just a few months, as we see and figure out what this recession actually means to our family. And so a lot of times people are asking me how and why we are going to close this wealth gap. In fact, I was looking at an article, and I'm going to bring that article up just so you all are really clear about, what's actually happening. But there was an article that Insider News wrote about Black people in cryptocurrency. And some of the things that they were basically saying was that FTX fall really wiped Black people out of all of their retirement funds and savings. And of course, I was like, who in the world wrote this? And where did they get this information? Because there are many, many, many of us. In fact, almost everybody I know, we didn't patronize or utilize FTX. And so it had nothing to do at all with us. But the picture that they're painting is that Black people are in cryptocurrency more than anyone in this United States, and that we have lost the most money in cryptocurrency because of the fall of FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. And that is absolutely not the truth. In fact, one of my aunts, who is in the financial services industry and has been for years, and seeks counsel and takes counsel from individuals that are in her immediate circle, she called me yesterday and she was like, hey, one of my colleagues is saying that Black people lost all this money with FTX. And she was like, well, where's my Bitcoin? And I was like, your Bitcoin is in your private wallet. We taught you from day one to self-custody. So even if you don't understand the space, even if you don't understand what you need to be doing or how, I would say to you today, the best thing you can do is get with someone that can show you how to store your Bitcoin safely, so that you would be like my aunt, who's up in age, but still working, and still not quite understanding or grasping the validity of Bitcoin, but she knew better than to not have any at all. And so we got her set up with her private wallet, and she's good. She didn't have to fear the fact that FTX was going out of business, and not knowing where her Bitcoin or her crypto is, because we preach self-sovereignty. And so my quote to you today comes because of what I am hearing and the questions that are being asked about closing the wealth gap. And we'll get a little bit deeper into that and how I feel like Bitcoin and your purchasing Satoshis on a daily basis is going to help us close the wealth gap. But the quote actually says, the only way to fail to close the wealth gap is if we stop DCAing before we get there. And again, I will say to you that the only way to fail to close this wealth gap is if we stop DCAing before we get there. And that is a quote by me, Naja Roberts. And ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we are going to jump into our cryptocurrency news for the day because we have definitely got a lot to talk about. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
More with Naja Roberts as we get ahead of the crypto curve on KBLA Talk.
All right, welcome forward. Welcome forward. I am going to jump into some serious crypto news that you all need to hear. We're going to make sure that we are slow and steady with this information because, like all things, we want the things that we are involved in or the things that we believe in to be all that, as we would say, in the bag of chips. But I also want to be very open and say that we have to be careful. We have to tread lightly and we need to know exactly what is going on in the space so that we know how to govern ourselves if and when the regulation comes and affects us, if it does at all. But I have to let you all know that as of today, there are reports and great reports that the US regulators and the feds have jointly issued a cryptocurrency warning. And so I'm going to make sure that we are clear on what this means to us and what this means to our community, what this means to you as you continue to buy Satoshis. I want to make sure that everyone is clear on it. And so I'm going to go through this article and we may take just a little bit more time on this than we do other things because we want to make sure that everyone is clear on what is happening. And again, this is a joint crypto warning by the Federal Reserve Bank and the FDIC and actually the OCC. So if you have any comments or any concerns, anything that you want to ask me about it that I may miss later on, please feel free to go to my website, NajaRoberts.com, and go to the part that says Ask Naja Roberts. Put the information in there and we will address it online. But the Federal Reserve Bank and the Federal Deposit of Insurance Corporation, which is the acronym that we always see, which is FDIC, and the Office of Comptroller, they are issuing a joint warning about the crypto risk to banking organizations. A lot of people were feeling as though they were saying this to us as consumers, but this is specifically for banking organizations. Now, I share with you all that I've had many, many issues with the banks because they do not want to bank cryptocurrency companies in the first place, because Bitcoin and several other cryptocurrencies are considered to be their rivals. We were initially talking, and a lot of people constantly come out on social media and say that cryptocurrency is going to replace fiat. That's the FIAT, and we absolutely still believe that, because the central banks are putting together their digital currency, and so you'll soon see what that is. But these agencies have significantly made a significant statement, and what they're saying is they're doing this in the order of safety and soundness and concern with the business models that are concentrated in the crypto asset related activities, or anyone that has concentrated exposure to the cryptocurrency asset sector. So that would be someone like me. So not only are they sending out this warning, but we've already had an issue. I don't know how much more of an issue, them saying this is doing, other than creating fear mongering amongst people that are in the banking industry, so that they stay away from having cryptocurrency type products and services, which in my opinion is a good thing, because the banks should not be involved in cryptocurrency or crypto asset sector type of things. And so I want to make sure that our community is understanding that these regulators coming in and saying these things are not necessarily what the smoke and mirrors is being presented as. So I'm going to say that they explained that the events in the past year of 2022 showed significant volatility and exposure of vulnerabilities of cryptocurrency assets and in the sector. The regulators named many risks, including some fraud, some scams, legal uncertainties, inaccuracy, and misleading representation by cryptocurrencies, significant volatility in crypto markets, run risks, and contagion risks. And I think that it's important to know that all of the things that we're talking about exist in every other financial market as well. Period. Point blank, period. There's nothing else that I can say about that, because fraud and scams exist. Legal uncertainties exist. That's why we have court. Inaccurate and misleading representation by cryptocurrency companies, that has been going on with the banking institutions. I mean, look at Bernie Madoff and several other. I mean, this has been happening forever. So it's just not isolated to the cryptocurrency space. But again, we have to look at this from both sides of the coin. So I want you to hear what they're saying and what we also know as a fact. So the volatility of the cryptocurrency markets is absolutely the truth, especially when you look back at us telling each and every one of you that all coins are not created equal. And in my humble opinion, 98% of these coins out here were designed to extract money from your bank account. And that is my quote, end quote. They are designed to extract money from your bank account. So it's not even significant volatility. It is significant manipulation. But again, in the financial services industry, there has been significant manipulation through the stock market. in so many different ways. And that is why when they did that whole GameStop thing back a few years ago, and grown men on Wall Street were in tears, literally sobbing, asking young people to stop, because they've been manipulating the market so long. When it happened to them one day, they lost billions and billions of dollars, but they're continuing to win because they manipulate the markets. They cause the volatility and different things that happen and the contagion risk. So absolutely so. But based on this, they're asking the agencies to understand that they have what they have experienced to date. And a lot of the banks haven't experienced any major losses. One of the banks that I see that is experiencing a major loss is the one bank that I know that accepts people with cryptocurrency to bank with them, and that's Silvergate Bank. And we'll probably hear about them tomorrow, because I understand that almost $8.2 billion in asset was pulled from Silvergate. Their stock is plummeting because of these things, but that has nothing to do with just regular everyday banking. Those were big companies that were working with Silvergate. In fact, I talked about the fact that they wouldn't allow me to get an account. I've tried almost 3 years. And the reason why is because I did not hold $1 million a day in the bank. And that's what they require for anyone that was banking with them at Silvergate. So the fact that they had $1 million a day sitting in every single account holder's account made them do very, very well with the stocks. And I hate to say it, but they're a federally chartered bank. And again, they played a game and a shenanigan to hold $1 million a day of everybody's funds in order to bank with them. So I don't really understand, and I will talk about them a little bit later. But that practice right there, in my opinion, was some of what they're telling all the bankers to look out for us, from us. And so I'm just going to say this. The quote that they had said the agencies will have have got to work on not allowing crypto asset related activities or any exposure whatsoever to the cryptocurrency space. And so these banking organizations, in their opinion, should ensure appropriate risk management, including board oversight, policies, procedures, risk assessment, controls, gates, and guardrails, and monitoring to effectively identify and manage risks. So not only are these banks going to do as they have been doing in the first place, and that's asking you when you get ready to open an account, if you have any cryptocurrency dealings, et cetera, if the answer is yes, you don't get an account from the beginning. But I'm understanding that they've taken and allowed cryptocurrency companies that had a much higher stature to utilize their platforms. They didn't just let regular companies such as mine utilize them. They let the big ones. But now they're telling the banks to go in and be intrusive into the books to find out who's on the board, what their policies and procedures are, and risks. But they don't do that for the regular companies that come to them. And a lot of the regular companies that come to them are there for fraudulent reasons as well. And so I just really feel like they are implementing or trying to implement controls and gates and guardrails for our sector that they're not doing for the traditional sector that has been doing what they've been doing for hundreds of years. And so I just think it's a little bit unfair as to what they're asking the banks to do, because that's going to further it's going to further prevent small pop-up and startup companies such as mine to really be able to pay our employees and to do the things that we need to do that are ethically and morally correct. And so I don't think that there should be a blanket covering of what the banks are doing for cryptocurrency companies. I know that they need to identify and manage their risks, but I think there needs to be some other way that this should be done, instead of just giving the banks this pretty much marching orders to intrude on some of the things that we're doing inside of our businesses and things of that sort. And so I think this is a really big deal that they have come together jointly to say this to the banks. And so the banks are going to be looking closer at all of our transactions. And so for those of you that are in the cryptocurrency space, and maybe you're trading, maybe you are working on a trading platform, maybe you're listening to me because you're one of our clients and you use one of the trading platforms, and maybe you are really benefiting from the cryptocurrency space these days. And I know a lot of people are. We're seeing a lot of people that are benefiting from the space, and we should be benefiting from something. And so I will say this, the banks are going to be a little bit harder on not just, I don't believe it's going to be not just the cryptocurrency companies. I believe it's going to be cryptocurrency holders as well. I believe as you go to wire and do different things, they're going to be more intrusive as to why you're sending your money, where you're sending your money, how long you've known the individuals, and if it is specifically cryptocurrency related. And that's where I see this coming. And if that is the case, ladies and gentlemen, I will guarantee you, you will not be able to move your money from their bank to do whatever you want to do with your hard-earned money. They're going to tell you that that is unauthorized. That is an unauthorized action. And that's what I'm reading as I go through here and see what these US regulators are warning about cryptocurrency and the cryptocurrency sector. And so we just really need to know that that's coming down the pipe. So I wanted to share that so you all can read it at your leisure and just make sure that you're getting ready. And again, the name of this show is Ahead of the Crypto Curve. And why it's ahead of the crypto curve is because we want to keep you relevant and we want to keep you ahead of the crypto curve so you understand exactly what is going on and what you need to be doing to prepare and making sure that your money is safe. Some of the other news that we are going to talk about today is one that I don't usually get into, and it has all to do with what we call, well, I can't even say what we call them, but it's the bad word for bowel movement. But we call those coins a special type of coins. But these are coins, ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of our community have. And I'm talking about the black and the brown community. They bought into Dogecoin. They bought into Shiba Inu, and mostly because Snoop Dogg told our young people to do that. And then it has all to do with the fact that, you know, it has been pitched that these coins will do better than Bitcoin. They're cheaper than Bitcoin, and you can make a lion's share of money with these coins right now, right away. That is how these were marketed. That's how it's pitched. And a lot of our community got involved in it. So today, coincidentally, just a few hours ago, it was actually documented, and I've been looking at the charts, that one of the biggest movers in the cryptocurrency space is Doge and Shiba Inu. And they surged to a multi-week high on today. And so for today, January 5th, these meme coins, we call them some other kind of coins. SH, you know what we call them, coins. But they're also meme coins. And meme is MEME for those of you that don't know what I'm saying. Meme coins rose higher following the recent days of consolidation. The coin climbed for a second straight session on today, which is Thursday, which comes ahead of the U.S. Non-farm payroll numbers for the U.S. And that happens tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow, there are some payroll numbers that roll out. And again, numbers that possibly could be manipulated based on what they want the American people to feel like is going on. And so I am telling you, ladies and gentlemen, everything that happens in this space happens for a reason. And Shiba Inu and Dogecoin being green is pretty interesting for a second straight day, a week. And so it rose to about 7 cents. And I'm going to tell you, if it gets anywhere near 10 or 11 or 12 cents, some of you that are holding on to it, it may be a good idea for you to really get with your financial advisor and see exactly what you need to do, because these Dogecoin bulls seem to really go and come, but they also coincide with the traders that are finally returning from Christmas and New Year's Eve celebrations. So I want to make sure that you're clear. I don't think that it's going with that Shiba Inu and Dogecoin are going up because of their value, because of anything other than the fact that people that took a break that are traders between Christmas and New Year's are just starting to get back in front of their computers and get serious about things. And because of that, they could be helping to pump the price of these coins. And so our community really needs to be careful when you have people calling you, telling you that Shiba Inu and Dogecoin are going to do better than Bitcoin in the long run. And there's just no, I don't even see them hitting $1 ever in anybody's lifetime. But people are saying that. That's what they're saying. But you got to look at the tokenomics. You got to look at the fact that if Dogecoin hits $1, it will be valued at more than all the money in the entire world. It's just not mathematically possible. So when you see these articles and things come out, ladies and gentlemen, be very wary. But also when you see a lot of individuals telling you to get involved in these types of coins, I also want you to be very wary. So ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward after sports, traffic, and news, we will jump into some more of the cryptocurrency conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Hello, I'm your girl Naja Roberts, and I am here to tell you about an important event that I have coming up in just about 24 to 48 hours, and that is the Ledger and Me 123. If you've been listening to anything I've been saying for the last 2 years, I have been saying that custodying your own keys and holding your own Bitcoin in your own cold storage wallet is the best remedy against scam or things like FTX or anything else out there that could suck up and steal your Bitcoin or your cryptocurrency. And this is a ledger. This is what it looks like. It's the size of your thumb. It comes in a box from Ledger. And what we're going to do this Friday is we are going to have a Ledger and Me 123, and we're going to help you take your Bitcoin off the exchange and put it into your own private wallet. If you're interested in attending this course, your name and your face will not be shown. It will be an anonymous call, and we're going to help you walk through setting up your ledger step by step. That's why it's called Ledger and Me 123, because we are going to make sure that you get the best customer service and that you're setting it up and that you understand what you're doing and that you're comfortable with moving your Bitcoin from one place on the blockchain to the next place on the blockchain. And we're also going to talk about how you store your seed words, because that's critically important. Your Bitcoin is not stored on this device, so you've got to come to the actual Ledger and Me 123 to really understand what you need to do to secure your Bitcoin and your cryptocurrency for not just your future, but for the future generations to come. Again, I am Naja Roberts, and the Ledger and Me 123 will be held this Friday, January the 6th. And I look forward to seeing you there. Peace and blessings. Have a great day. Bye-bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're waiting on one of the commercials to go through, and at the end of this, we will be back in about 30 seconds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome forward. Welcome forward. We are jumping into our segment where we are going to do the cryptocurrency update for the day, and then we are going to do the Ask Naja Roberts. And I was pulling a question from one of our listeners, so we have something to answer today. And so in the market, Bitcoin right now is trading at $16,845. It is down in the last hour 0.11%, and in the last 24 hours, it's up 0.09%. In the last 7 days, it is up 1.4%. And again, it's at $16,800. And you don't need a whole Bitcoin. You can just buy small fractional increments of Bitcoin, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the show. Ethereum today is at $1,252.13. It is down 0.10% down in the last hour. And in the last 24 hours, it is actually down 0.06%. And in the last 7 days, it is up 4.7%. And then we talked about Shiba Inu and Dogecoin. So I'm just going to read that quickly so you understand where that is. It's at 7 cents right now, ladies and gentlemen. It is down 0.17% in the last hour. It is up 0.62% in the last 24 hours. And in the last 7 days, it's up 3.5%. And so that is that one. And then we also talked about Shiba Inu, which is, it's a tenth of a penny. And again, just because it's a tenth of a penny, please do not run out and get it. I'm looking at how many of these coins are out on the market, and it is a ridiculous number. I don't even know if I can say it. And I passed my math class. I have my I have my degree, but I believe this is 30 billion. No, this is 30 trillion coins. It has 30 trillion coins at, it just doesn't even matter. It's a ridiculous amount of coins in circulation, which means there's no scarcity, which means that there is no reason for you to get involved with this coin because it goes against the ethos of the reason why Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies were created in the first place. But nevertheless, it is up 4.1%. And it in the last 24 hours, in the last 7 days, it's up 5.8%. And I think it is really individuals feeding into the fact that they feel like this is going to do just as well as Bitcoin has done. But the amount of coins in circulation is ridiculous. As I look at this thing, it's even more, there's even more coins out there than Dogecoin. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Again, all coins are not created equal. Please, please be very careful as to what you get involved in. And so my Ask Naja Roberts question of the day is, and it asks the question, how would you explain Bitcoin and blockchain to someone who is hearing about them for the first time? I am trying to teach my family about Bitcoin and blockchain. And so I will say to this listener, Bitcoin is just a digital asset that can be transferred among participants on a Bitcoin network as a peer-to-peer thing. So It's like money. So if I'm willing to accept it and you're willing to accept it, we can trade. I can buy this shirt, which I did with Bitcoin. It says entrepreneur, thanks to CJ. Um, but I paid Bitcoin for this t-shirt and he gave me the t-shirt. So money can be anything that one is willing to transfer for goods and services or to utilize for goods and services. So it can be transferred among participants. So it is like a money because you can transfer it. Bitcoin and the blockchain is just a ledger. It's a sophisticated database, in my opinion, but it's a ledger. It keeps track of numbers and the Bitcoin transactions that take form in a chain of blocks. And when we say blocks, it's not a physical block, but on the computer, there's a block of transactions that happen, and then that block is sealed. And each one of these blocks contains the number of Bitcoin transactions. So when I bought this shirt or sweatshirt from CJ with Bitcoin, on the blockchain, the transaction was recorded. Once so many transactions get recorded, the block is locked and nobody can go in there and change it. So for the rest of my life and for my children's life and my children's children's lives, they can always look back to the day that we were on tour and CJ the smart guy brought out these sweatshirts and I actually purchased Bitcoin because it went from my wallet to his wallet. That transaction is sealed and locked in what we call a block. And that is what a block is. And each block, again, contains a collection of Bitcoin transactions. So it might have been on that day my transaction with CJ, but it could have also been somebody in El Salvador or even the El Salvadorian president who bought Bitcoin for his country. We could be in the same block. Who knows? We'd have to look that up to find that out. But with that being said, we literally have all these transactions in blocks. And when that block fills up, it locks and it moves to the next, it starts filling up transactions in the next block. But copies of the Bitcoin blockchain exist on thousands of computers across the Bitcoin network. And if you want to, ladies and gentlemen, you too can look at these transactions going forward. And I'm going to actually make sure that we make that available on one of our websites so that you can actually see all of these transactions trickle in from hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars down to just the little bitty $6 a day that we're doing when we DCA. All of those transactions are being recorded because I am buying this $6 a day. It's going into the Black Wall Street wallet that they host because they are actually the custodian. And again, making sure you understand, every one of these exchanges are custodians, except our exchange. We do something a little bit different, but each one of these exchanges are custodians. So it'll show their wallet address where the Bitcoin went. And then inside of their organization, that's where you're able to actually see exactly what you own out of their specific wallet. And I hope that really helps you understand or how to explain Bitcoin and blockchain to someone who's just hearing about it for the first time, because it seems like a lot. It is a lot, and you've got to give and allow people to take baby steps. You got to give them some space to learn. And so you can also have them download the KBLA Talk 1580 app, and then they can get more of understanding on a daily basis. And so that's what we do here. And then we also want to make sure that those of you that have your ledger in hand, I have to say have your ledger in hand, because what I don't want you to do is get on the Ledger and Me 123 tomorrow evening and not have your ledger. Sometimes people pay to just sit there, and that's okay if you want to do that. But we will not be doing anything that you should not be doing while you don't have your ledger. So I guess I'm saying, if you want to sit on the Ledger and Me 123 and you don't have your ledger, that's fine. If you want to pay to do that, that's fine. But we would really prefer to be and have you getting your ledger set up properly. And you can possibly, do it at a later date after watching me set up mine and do all the things that we need to do. There's not a problem with that. But I just wanted to make sure. So tomorrow, if you do have your ledger and you're interested in getting on, tomorrow will be our Ledger and Me 123. You can go to najaroberts.com/ledger and you can sign up for that Ledger and Me. We will be having one next month. So for all of you that do not have a ledger, you have time now to order one and get ready for the February Ledger and Me 123. And so we're going to do this consistently every single month so that we can get our community safe in this Bitcoin space. And you've got to know that self-custody is the first step in this space. Self-custody, actually, it's not the first step, it's the only step you should be making in this space. And again, yes, you got to buy it from the Black Wall Street. You got to buy it from Cash App. You've got to buy it from Gemini. You've got to buy it from Binance. But take your Bitcoin and your cryptocurrency off the exchanges and put it into your private wallet. I'm going to continue to say that until our community in its totality has gotten safe. I also want to just take a second before I forget to let everyone know that I had been misstating one of our websites and people couldn't find it. And I was trying to figure out why they couldn't find it. I was saying it incorrectly. So I do two news shows. I do two news pieces on our show every day. But if you want to know what's going on all over the space in all different capacities or different things like that, you are welcome to go to a site that I put together to help pull information from all the sites so you have one place to look, and that is cryptostreetsnews.io. I have been saying .com, but it is .io. So I want to make sure that everyone is aware of that so that you can go there if you need news. If you want to know what's going on with Shiba Inu, you can go to cryptostreetsnews.io and click on Shiba Inu, and it's going to give you all of the information about Shiba Inu and what they're doing and all of those things. So I wanted to make sure that I cleared that up. Most of our sites that you're going to be going to are not .com anymore. They're either .io. .io has to do with cryptocurrency, ladies and gentlemen. If you see a site that has a .io, 9 times out of 10, it has something to do with the cryptocurrency space. We also are doing .co and not .com. So when you go to cryptoblockchainplug.co, that is where you will find our domains. And so I want you to understand, not only is money changing, but the way this World Wide Web is giving an expansion of extensions is what we call it. So don't just go to .com all the time and say, and I know I was wrong with saying .com, but just know that there's so many other extensions out there, and this cryptocurrency space is utilizing those. So when we come forward, ladies and gentlemen, we will jump in and continue the cryptocurrency conversation. We've got a lot to talk about. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So during our breaks, there's actually music in my ear. And so they have the news and different things like that. But you can always download the KBLA app and you can listen to me live on KBLA, which is where the music is going and all those things in my ears. So just want you all to know how the show rocks. I'm happy that you're here and we're getting this down to a science, and I'm super excited about everything that has to do with the head of the crypto curve. So stay tuned. We will be getting going in just about, I'm going to say 120 seconds. We got about 2 more minutes and we'll be back on. like to really just reiterate that if you do not have a ledger, please wait until next month to sign up for the Ledger and Me 123. But if you have one, you are more than welcome to go to NajaRoberts.com/ledger, LEDGER, and get signed up for that. And I'm going to continuously say, make sure that you are always buying a factory direct ledger. Do not buy one from OfferUp or any other third party in order to save a couple bucks, because you'll save a couple of bucks now and you'll lose all your bucks down the road when you have purchased, or because you were being a little bit frugal, you will have purchased a ledger that someone has the seed words to already, or has already taken all the information that they need off of it, so that when you fill it up with your Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, they will be able to then extract all of your funds. So again, be very careful, because there are people out here every single day waiting and looking and hoping that they can catch someone not understanding how this space works. As we would say, catch you slipping. So make sure that nobody catches you slipping by buying your ledger factory direct. And we are going to also, ladies and gentlemen, in next month. So right after the Ledger and Me, next month, we will be doing a crypto essential as well. And we understand, that you're listening to the radio every single day, and it's a great thing. And a lot of times you get bits and pieces of what you need. And so for those of you that didn't start out at the beginning of last year rocking with the Head of the Crypto Curve, we want to offer an opportunity for you to get the basics. And it's about a 2 to 3 hour course called Crypto Essential. And I'm going to say 2 hours, because what we allow you to do is take some notes, but ask some questions. And that essentials will also be coming up in February, along with the second Ledger and Me 123 for this year. So just stay tuned. We've got a lot of great things that will be coming your way, and we're going to make sure that our community is doing and getting exactly what we want them to, and that's good education and hands-on individuals to help you stay ahead of the curve. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we will get into our DCA, our dollar cost average, because I say a DCA a day keeps poverty away. So do not touch that dial. We're going to DCA when we come forward. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, we will be getting this done in just a few. We're on from 1 to 2. Again, we are working through the kinks. This is our first week, and we are sewing it up. Tomorrow is our Friends and Family Friday. So you can actually call into the radio station. And again, that number is 800-920-1580. Again, 920-1580. And we'll make sure that you can call in if you like. Hey, Zachary, I want to say peace to you too. All right, welcome forward. Welcome forward. We are at the part of our show that is going to make you happy someday in the very near future. I'm going to say the far future, because I'm still looking at a 5 to 10 year trajectory. Even though we're in 2023, I'm still looking at 5 years. So now I guess I can say 4 to 10 years because we are moving up. We're moving up. We're getting closer to 2024 when that happening is going to happen. And so I'm excited about that. But nevertheless, you are asked right now to take out your Black Wall Street wallet. And today I can actually do exactly that. So you're going to open up your Black Wall Street wallet. Black Wall Street wallet is an app. It is a custodial wallet, and I'm going to continue to let you know that. But what we're doing is we are opening the Black Wall Street wallet up because we want to get some Satoshis today. Satoshis, the smallest increment of a Bitcoin, just like a penny is the smallest increment of $1. And we are going to click the purple circle in the middle, and we are going to select buy asset, and we are going to buy asset. That's Bitcoin. And we're going to click on $6. Now we can set this up and forget it, but we are doing this daily on the air so we all can understand and see how easy it is to take a small amount of money daily and begin to dollar cost average to help close the wealth gap in our families and our community. So with that, I'm going to click continue, and voila, I have purchased Bitcoin today, this very minute, at $16,842, which means that today I got more Satoshis than I did yesterday at this time because the price is down 0.05% right now. So we're stacking in the good times, we're stacking in the bad times, but ultimately we are stacking Satoshis so that we can eventually get to one entire Bitcoin, which is 100 million Satoshis. Right now, we're getting these small little increments and they're all adding up. And we're trying to get to 100 million Satoshis so that we can have an entire Bitcoin. And if you hold an entire Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, you will be at the top of the food chain as it relates to people that hold Bitcoin. And the reason why is because there's only ever going to be 21 million of them. And if you hold one, and not even all the millionaires in the world can hold one. But guess who will have one? Little old you. So with that being stated, ladies and gentlemen, please do not touch that dial. We are making way for the D.L. Hughley Show. I want to thank each and every one of you for rocking with me today on Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where we are creating Satoshi millionaires one day at a time, one family at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time. You are listening to me on the unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580 radio. And if you have not told a friend to download the app, please do so. Let them know Naja Roberts is on every single day from 1 to 2 o'clock so they can learn about this digital revolution that will not be televised. In fact, it is going to be digitized. Again, this is Naja Roberts on Ahead of the Crypto Curve. This is KBLA Talk 1580.